Chapter 6, Episode 3 about Mastitis in Blanche's course. Sorry for the late update due to academic conference season. Lot, give me that. Hey, Blanche-sama, would you like a snack? One day, Lot and Blanche had such an exchange in Blanche's room in the de Medici's family. It's Lot, her eyes twinkling, enjoying a piece of cake. What's wrong with you, young lady? Is there something wrong with your stomach? No, but cake doesn't go down my throat. Even if you have a problem? Lot asked anxiously as the exasperated Blanche diligently brought the cake to her mouth before changing her mind. The atmosphere is such that you have to consult your problems in exchange for a cake. I realized my brothers were too busy and didn't even praise me. Blanche puffs out her cheeks sweetly and tells Lot about her little worries. How can I get my father and mother to praise me? That's right. Husband doesn't praise me much, but I think his wife does. It's better to be scolded. I wonder if I can study. Lot thinks that's probably the case, but saying that might offend Blanche. Ask Falma-sama and Pal-sama. No, my brothers don't know how I feel. Do you understand my feelings, Lot? Lot, I raised my index finger in thought. Well, I've never received so many compliments at all. I can't quite understand your daughter's feelings. With a smile on her face, Lot made a remark as if he were a servant without any offense. If you look up, there is no end, but if you look down, Lot is there. Maybe Blanche read the atmosphere, and she looks awkward as a child. Isn't that what you want to hear? Of course, both Pal-sama and Falma-sama are perfect. I've been doing divine arts for a while, but I haven't studied anything. Blanche props her chin on the desk and sighs. You're still 7 years old, so you should start studying when you're a little older. My older brothers were studying to be pharmacists by the time they were 7. Indeed, Blanche is instructed by Bruno to practice divine arts, but he is not urged to study. She learned reading, writing and arithmetic only from her mother Beatrice and did not even have formal tutoring as an apothecary. Do you want to ask your husband then? I will. So Blanche followed Bruno home from the university and followed him to his office. Lot also accompanies me to the door. Bruno takes off his coat in the office, sits down on a chair and begins to spread out the papers with the help of his apprentice. He is still a respectable father. What is this, Blanche? Standing in a place like this? Blanche threw a bold question at Bruno, who was so busy. Come on. Am I going to be an apothecary? Bruno didn't stop working and listened with an irritated look. Why do you ask such a question? Our family business is a pharmacist. What do you want to be other than a pharmacist? He only said that becoming a pharmacist was natural for him. But unlike Aniue and the others, I still don't have a pharmacy teacher. Oh, come to think of it, you were at that age too. The de Medici family's educational policy for training apothecaries is either to have a private tutor or to enroll them in a school. Although he hesitated, no answer of submission came, so Bruno looked up in disgust. Are you dissatisfied with becoming a pharmacist? Or is Eleanor dissatisfied? She is a famous apothecary who is one of the few fingers in the empire. So it is not. What kind of attitude is that toward your parents? If you want to do something, you can do it freely. Your patron deity is the god of water, so you are not obliged to become an apothecary. Also, you are not diligent and careless. You often cheat your mistakes and are rude. Besides, you don't have an attitude of learning. You are not fit to become a pharmacist. In front of his disciples, Bruno began to criticize Blanche. The disciples become impatient and pretend to focus on the task at hand. Blanche has tears in her eyes. Does that mean you don't have to become an apothecary? A pharmacist is a job that entrusts human lives. Bruno said no. Blanche ran out of the room crying. My father told me that I don't have to be a pharmacist, he said. Eh? Is it true? Lot, who greeted Blanche, who returned with tears in her eyes, was speechless in the face of Bruno's sharp assessment. Bruno's reputation as an apothecary against Falma and Pal is high. In contrast, it was surprising to see Blanche scolded and criticized without any encouragement. What do you mean by Soketsumono? It doesn't mean good. I don't know. How about this? Blanche was depressed because Lot was stuck with the answer. Lot comforted Blanche, who was holding her head after receiving unexpected news that she was out of power. Perhaps Blanche was frustrated and reached for the hem of Lot's clothing. You wanted to be a pharmacist, didn't you? Yes. But if I don't have to become an apothecary, what's left for me? Young lady's professional aptitude. Lot leads Blanche into the dining room and offers her tea. Lot then places a book from Falma's bookshelf in front of Blanche and opens it for Blanche. Since Lot had said she could borrow Falma's bookshelf freely, her reading ability gradually improved and she acquired an education. What Lot picked up was a book that dealt with talents and occupations for divine art attributes. What's that? Lot explained the contents to Blanche, who exhaustively put her mouth to her cup. It's about the occupational aptitude of the lady's patron deity, the water goddess. Doctors, apothecaries, artists, musicians, poets, etc. seem to be professions that have to do with healing people. Look, there are so many. Which one is better? Hey you. Those who have a water god as their patron god have a certain professional aptitude, and since they are not forced to do anything, they have a high degree of freedom in their choice of profession. However, Falma and Pal, who have an apothecary deity as their patron deity, are rare, so training as an apothecary is almost mandatory. Claude, whose patron deity was the god of medicine, was also like that. Well, I've never made one of them, so I can't imagine which one is good, and I'm worried. Lot thought of something and clapped her hands. That's right. Would you like Clara-sama to give you a fortune-telling? Clara-sama seems to know the future. Yes. I will do it. On a happy day, Blanche sent a messenger to Clara to make an appointment. Blanche, his companion Lot, and several companions visit Clara's mansion on foot. Chloe's mansion, where Clara lives, is about a 10-minute walk from the de Medici's house. Welcome. As the group entered the mansion, Clara got stuck like a dried fish on the slope of the front steps. Clara, who said she had been working too hard because she had an appointment with Jean today, was lazy in the afternoon, but when she heard that Falma's younger sister Blanche was coming, she readily accepted the request. Do you want me to tell you the future? In a pitch-black room called the meditation room, candles are lit and Clara begins to dance while meditating over a suspicious altar with a magical formation. A few months into the future looks normal, but when it comes to the distant future, it seems to require a special ritual. Yes. Started making strange noises. Apparently, their divine arts are derived from the divine dance arts. It seems my father's dancing is a little different. Blanche secretly tells Lot. Clara enchants with light steps and dancing, and although her strange voice makes her feel dangerous, there is a divine beauty hidden in her. Hey. After Clara danced for a while, she fell down in front of Blanche and Lot. He seems to have run out of spirit. Lot inadvertently checked Clara's breathing, but she was barely alive. Are you all right? Clara-sama. Hey, I just ran out of divine power. I couldn't see Blanche-san's future clearly. I did my best. I tried very hard. But I could only see it a little bit. I can feel it. Very strongly. Lot clenched her fists. Using divine arts until you run out of divine power is considered shameful, so Lot doesn't often encounter such scenes. I've never seen Falma run out of divine power, and Blanche doesn't use that hard divine art. Sometimes I take care of Pal when he runs out of divine power and collapses after training. Miss Clara. Take care. When Clara's maid turned Clara around, who was still lying there motionless, she rolled her eyes back. When the maid measured it with a divine power meter, it showed considerable signs of wear. Kia. Oju-sama. Seriously, your divine power is so low. Oju-sama, you're not used to using divine power yet, so you're exaggerating. The maid said that Clara, who had just opened her divine veins, didn't really know how to regulate the output of her divine power. It looks like you are in pain. Should I let Falma-sama know? When Lot couldn't help but ask Clara, only Clara's hand shook and trembled. To catch her breath and say, "Wait, it seems that the time for clairvoyance is too far away. I have used too much divine power. I will sleep like this. I used too much power, so I will sleep for about 2 days. Hey, are you sleeping for 2 days? Aw, thank you very much. Maybe it's a job related to medicine." Huh? Clara collapsed after saying that, so Lot and Blanche fled Clara's villa. I wonder if a job related to medicine will make me a pharmacist. After returning home, Lot looked at Blanche with a gentle gaze as she regained some of her energy and worried. "So you can become an apothecary like Eleanor-sama, isn't that cool?" With an embarrassed expression on her face, Lot smiled gently. "Then we'll play pharmacist today for practice. I'll be the pharmacist and Lot will be the customer." Lot takes out a hanging scale to measure the medications and places it in front of Blanche. For some reason it looked like a house, but Lot seriously pretended to be a patient and sat down in front of Blanche. "My head hurts and I seem to be coughing. Master Yakushi, please prepare some medicine. Do your best." First I practiced weighing the flour I had borrowed from the kitchen. At first Blanche was hesitant to put the powder on the scale, but gradually she became less nervous and was able to measure it without any problem. If this is it, I feel like I can help the pharmacy. I wonder if Blanche was a little careless while she was pro. Her hand slipped and dropped the medicine spoon, splashing the powder under the scale. The powder flew up and entered Blanche's nose. Incident. All the flour splattered with a big sneeze. Blanche's face turned white and she cried. Lot is also all white and only her eyes blink. "Would you like to try again, young lady?" "Well, I failed. It seems that apothecary is not for me." Blanche quickly gives up. "I don't think it's not suitable for you, but you should practice more." While Lot comforted Blanche, Pal, who seemed to have finished her voluntary training, approached with astonished looks. "What are you doing around so much, guys? Put away your scales too. What have you been doing?" "I've been playing pharmacy with Blanche-sama. Practicing weighing now," Lot explained. Apothecary?" Pal, hearing this, was obviously making a fool of himself, so Blanche turned away, embarrassed. "No, it's nothing. If you have time for it, I'll go train in the divine arts." "You haven't been slacking off lately." "No. No, big brother. I'm going with my little brother." Blanche made an effort to resist, but was dragged away by Pal with a pure white face. "Have a nice day." Lot wiped her face and waved her hand. "Aren't you confident you can become a pharmacist?" Falma, who has just returned from college, is consulted by the exhausted Blanche. Blanche was exhausted after being squeezed by Pal. I've been told I'm not fit to be a father, and I'm not good at measuring medicine. Also, I don't like to study, I make arithmetic mistakes. I'm really like my brothers, I don't have a... do you feel like doing it?" Falma had something in mind and stroked Blanche's head and said, "Would you like to see Ellen's work?" The next day, I decided to let Blanche accompany Ellen, who made a house call. "Blanche-chan." "Huh? That's fine. Madame de Dion called me today." "Then I'll leave it all the more to Ellen." Falma is completely left to Ellen. "Aren't you going to an EUA?" "It's not that I don't know Eleanor, and it doesn't matter if we both go together, but I still want Blanche to follow Falma." "I can't go." "Is there anything neither brothers nor father can do?" "Oh, that's what it means." "Then, Blanche, let's go." Ellen answered Blanche's question with a smile, guessing Falma's intentions. "Love." Ellen put Blanche on her horse and reached Baron de Dion's mansion in the suburbs. "Well, let's go." "Is this the first time you've followed Blanche-chan for a house call?" "Didn't anyone take you?" Falma, Pal and others were taken by Bruno, and at a young age they visited the Emperor and other regulars and gained knowledge as apothecaries, but Blanche never did anything like that. Since her training as a pharmacist has not yet begun, she does not accompany them on house calls. Ellen comforts Blanche, who is a bit overwhelmed. Then today is the first day of training to be a pharmacist. Blanche Chan is cute, so she was well taken care of. Are you nervous? Ellen dismounted and asked the doorman to take over, and the steward came out. Welcome, Madame Bonnefoy. Now, what about this young lady? It is Blanche de Medicis. The Baron's steward, who answered the visitor, is suspicious of the unknown beautician. She is the daughter of the de Medicis family. The de Medicis family. The Royal Court Apothecary family. The name of the Royal Court Apothecary family is widely known even among the nobles who do not use the other world apothecary. And everyone envies anyone who wants to see the famous apothecary, the court apothecary Bruno de Medicis, if they have the opportunity. Bruno never examines lowly aristocrats or commoners, however. Being able to associate with the de Medicis family would be a slightly lower aristocratic status, so the steward welcomed Blanche's visit. Perhaps everyone knows the names of father and brother? Blanche seemed once again to recognize the influence of the Archduke family. Yes, people all over the country know about them. It's my father and brother who are great. Blanche's feelings seemed complicated. The lady Ellen called was on the bed with a high fever. Please help me drive. Bonnefoy. My chest is swollen. It hurts so bad. I'll see you now. Ellen palpates the woman's heavy breasts and examines the flow of divine power, then touches the woman's hardened breasts and finds a bump. Well, it's bright red and ticking. Is that so? Blanche stood in the corner of the room and watched what Ellen was doing. Please show me your breast. Well, there's a lump here, so it must be infectious mastitis caused by that. Ellen found the lump in her breast that caused it. A lump that had not been detected on a previous routine exam. With a fever, it's characteristic of mastitis. Ellen keeps a notebook of her medical records and writes down her symptoms. This is to confirm Falma's treatment and prescription later. Do you have any medication? The woman unconsciously hides her breast and asks in pain. Yes, there is, but let's first try to see if the blockage can be removed. Breast milk clots and blocks the milk ducts, leading to bacterial infections and a buildup of milk in the mammary glands, resulting in mastitis. When the blockage is removed, the milk ducts open and the mastitis disappears. Ellen takes out a gauze handkerchief and fills the water basin with hot water with divine arts. Softens the papilla with the hot water soaked in the gauze, removes the clogged breast milk plug with her fingers, and then massages the mammary gland breast to squeeze out the stagnant pus-laden milk. Please be patient. Ellen's expression is serious. The woman was in pain, but Ellen continued the treatment. Blanche seemed to keep a firm eye on Ellen's exterior. Shortly thereafter, breast milk burst from under the gauze. Her mammary glands had opened. At the same time, purulent and discolored breasted milk came out. Oh, it's out. The lady says, and Ellen exclaims in relief. I'm glad. When this is all over, things will be back to normal. Ellen was ready to cover her hands and face with bubbly milk and worked on the procedure. There is an herbal medicine that will improve your milk flow and have fewer side effects, she said. Ellen wipes her milk-covered face after finishing her nipple treatment and prepares herbs. With Falma's modern medicine, mastitis is treated with antipyretic analgesics and antibiotics if massage is not performed. But once the milk ducts are blocked and pus is discharged, they are no longer necessary, just waiting for recovery. Ellen uses the strengths of modern and traditional medicine to switch to adjunctive therapy. Well, breastfeeding the baby is the nanny. Yes, I have my nanny do it. In aristocratic society, it is common to leave childcare to a nanny. If you are a wife, it may be better for you to breastfeed yourself because the milk is very viscous. If you breastfeed yourself, mastitis is reduced and you can interact with your baby. Your baby will love it. Well, but if Yukushi-sama says so. When Ellen said it, the maid brought the baby. After pumping the milk for a while, Ellen let her suck on her nipples. Babies like to drink milk very much. Ellen, who saw it, had a calm expression on her face as if she could communicate with his wife. "Oh, the tension has eased," she said. "The baby seems content. I think the fever will go down soon." "Yep. Healing water." Finally, Ellen holds both of his wife's hands and pours his own divine power into them, performing a divine art that prepares his wife's connections. A clear blue light envelops the lady's body and merges with her divine power. During Ellen's examination, unless there is a particularly serious illness, we will even adjust the nerve veins as an aftercare. When the divine power is exhausted, she will also replenish them. If the fever and swelling do not go away, please contact me again. Thank you, you saved me. Blanche got a glimpse of why Ellen is a popular pharmacist on the street, even though she works in a pharmacy in another world and is Bruno's apprentice. "What was it like for you to accompany me to my first medical exam?" Ellen asked Blanche as she slowly rocked her horse on the way back to the Medici's house where the evening glow was disappearing. The pharmacist's job is not just to dispense medicine. He does everything he can to restore the patient's health. Ellen tells Blanche. Still, the patient seems happy. "I'm glad I did it, Yakushi. I thought it was cool. I'm sure father or brother can't do that." Well, in gynecology, male doctors and pharmacists may see you, but patients are still hesitant, especially women. No matter how skilled the ladies are, they never call a male pharmacist like Falma. In some cases, the husband does not allow a male pharmacist to see the doctor. And because they are proud of themselves, they do not even call junior pharmacists. Responding to such requests is also an important task of a high-ranking pharmacist, Ellen said proudly. "Mr. Eleanor, will you be my tutor?" "Eric, do you want me to ask instead of Falma-kun?" "Love. In that case, you can call me Ellen instead of Eleanor." Ellen winked. Anyway, Blanche returned to the villa and came to report the visit to Falma. "How was it?" Falma sat at her desk in the cafeteria, grading students' report cards. The report on the history of pharmacy was graded quite rigorously and had to be resubmitted by several people. Emmerich's report, which he wrote dozens of pages on his own, was worth reading. "I want to be a pharmacist." The words were simple, but they were not unmotivated, they were full of power. "That's right. Looks like you got to study. There are things only a pharmacist can do. Big brother can't rub your breasts either." Falma hastily covered Blanche's mouth as she came up with a rather direct expression. Some of the servants, unaware of the circumstances, turned around after hearing that the breasts were being massaged. "Well, I don't know obstetrics and gynecology as well as Ellen." Falma kept his composure and went back to grading the students' report cards. "I will do my best. I will do my best with Ellen-sensei." Blanche nodded once. After learning the basics about Ellen, there may be a way to enter the San Fleuve Imperial College of Medicine, where Falma teaches through a rigorous entrance exam. Then let's do our best together. Let's walk the same path of pharmacy together. If there's anything else you want to do, do it. If you go even halfway down the same path, there's a lot I can do to help you. Because there is. Falma thought he didn't want Blanche's career to be determined by her birth, but that she wanted to be a pharmacist. Anyway, nice to meet you." Apparently, Blanche did not hesitate. Falma and Blanche shook hands firmly. It was a confirmation of the strong bond between brother and sister, and on top of that, it was also a greeting as senior and junior as pharmacists. Lot, who was listening, left the dining room relieved. From the next day, Blanche began to study a little more enthusiastically. However, after sitting at my desk for a while, I did not immediately break the habit of falling asleep or getting bored with a task.